All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rachak, Quadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders, Great Millstone, who teach very well, where I learned this truth from. And salutation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. And also, Shalom to all the men, women, and children who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. And today, man, just basically getting and touching on the backwardness of this current society, man. Because ultimately we're living in the height of what? Job 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judge thereof. If not, where and who is he? And yes, Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man, he do rule the whole planet Earth. And this is the product of what happened when wickedness is in rulership. A product of wickedness in rulership. Look at black culture. Songs that's full of murder, adultery, but now they add in that third ingredient, that homonism. Even if that's a word or not, I'm gonna make it a word today. But it's a reason, it's no coincidence why a lot of these, malls and shopping centers that's catered into the so-called black people. For an example, City Trends. I know even down here we got a City Gear. It's City Trends, it's City Gear. Another one called Journeys, and so on and so forth. Any type of store that just serve, they sells hip hop gear or whatever. It flipped. A couple of years ago, you used to have big tees and baggy jeans, but now those same stores is full of bedazzled skinny jeans and a skull that's got rhinestones on it. And again, that's the product of Esau affecting these people until this very day, man. Because again, these people there are mentally insane, And real quick, let me get this their word insane, just a regular Google definition. It says mentally damaged. That's it, man. And I'm going to jump back into this. But right there, you can see these people are mentally damaged. Whether it be from not having your father around growing up, or whether just listening to your damn mama. All these things will leave you mentally damaged. Listening to Esau. I'm going to play this video, man. I'm going to get the rest of the scriptures. And again, this little 30-second clip really sums up black culture. Because why? It's full of folly. Let's go ahead and go right here, man. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 10. And I'm going to jump down to verse 6. It says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low places. Let's get this in NIV. It says, fools are put in many high positions. That's why a lot of these famous rappers, these actors, they're in a foolish mindset because they did a lot of strange things in order to get into that high level. Like that guy right there, we can clearly see that he had a tank top on that he folded personally to make it a crop top. He's foolish, man. And then once you listen to the song, he's singing about killing people and things like that. And this is the vibration that Esau is pushing forth throughout the whole world, and mostly through the community of Israelites. Read this again. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 10 and 6. Fools are put in many high positions, while the rich occupy the low ones. And that's us, man. But guess what? The Lord is dealing with the lowly here in these latter days. Because why? In order to get that higher position, in order to get that promotion of that record deal, you have to do some wicked things. Let's get this in Psalms 138, and let's start at verse 5. Yeah, they shall sing in the ways of the Lord, for great is the glory of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. And yes, because the glory of the Lord is way different than the glory of a hit song. It's way different than the glory of you just having a million views. Now the glory of the Lord leads into everlasting life and rulership, man. While the glory of Esau or the glory of this side only leads to you looking cool for a moment. You know, that 15 minutes of fame. And by the time you soak all that up, now your 15 minutes of fame have ran over. Now you have to deal with reality. You know? Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, though the Lord be high, yet hath he respect unto the lowly. Yes. So even though the Lord be on high and fools is up in high positions, guess what? Yahweh Shema Shai is still having respect unto the lowly. He looked kindly upon us, man. You know, by the way of us pushing forth these videos, epistles, by the way of us pushing forth this word, casting down Mount Seir. Continuing on, it says, but the proud he knoweth afar off. And that proud can also be considered to be who? The rest of our people. Actually, 2/3 of our people, man. Because again, we can push this truth into a guy like this, into a blue in the face, and how much you want to bet that he's not going to get it. And the reason why he's not going to get it, because the Lord got him pushed afar off. You know, he's not going to behold the Lord's face, but the Lord got him pushed far off. Why? Because he's mentally insane, fulfilling the scriptures of what? Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. Let's get this again, that word insane, mentally damaged, mad, insane, of unsound mind, outrageous, excessive, extravagant. Right there. So again, those things, mad, insane, unsound mind. A part of that unsound mind is you not knowing what's going on. Let's get this real quick in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Because this is a part of the curses affecting our people too. You know, Jake being lost in the damn sauce. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 28. It says, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And that word heart goes back into the Hebrew word alab, which means your mind. You know? And right there, the Lord said he's going to smite you with madness. A nigga with a tank top rapping about killing other niggas while he's twerking and dancing, man. And here in this current society, he's considered a gangster. At least the gangsters in the 1800s used to, you know, it was a sense of ruggedness about them. But again, as we get closer and closer to the end, wickedness is going to increase more and more, and the people will be weakened more and more. But let's continue on. And again, they have a weak mindset. You know, I bet you if you push this guy down, or if you try to challenge him to fisticuffs, he'll pull a gun out on you. Even if you crack on him too hard, you joan on him too hard. That's the type of nigga that'll shoot you because people laughed at your jokes and not his. Continuing on, and thou shalt group at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Yes, man. That's why even niggas like King Von and Pop Smoke, all these different guys that made it as rappers, they didn't prosper as rappers. Why? Because them niggas dead now. Tupac and Biggie, they didn't prosper as rappers because them niggas dead. They music might prosper. When them niggas are dead, man, they can't actually receive the fruit of their labors. Continuing on, it says, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. And yes, this nigga, he's still finna go back into Babylon the Great. You know, let's go ahead and continue on, though. Because again, the person who is going to save us is Yahweh Shai. He's going to save us from this sickness. Let's continue on. Let's jump down. It says in right here, sane refers to actions irrational, evidencing madness. You know, so the Lord smite our people with madness to think that Twerking and crop tops is insane. The noun meaning insane person. It says the notion of insanity as sickness. And the nation of Israel is sick. Compared to lunatic, Italian peso, insane originally goes back into what? Suffering. Goes back into Latin words, um, patens, which actually goes back into what? Suffering, man. And the reason why our people is suffering as a nation is because what? They don't have this truth. The only ones that will receive this truth here in these latter days is the elect. Let's go ahead and get this in the book of Romans 11 and verse 7. It says, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So ultimately, it's a necessary evil for a lot of niggas to be led astray, for a lot of niggas to live this wicked lifestyle, just so the elect can get it. And ultimately for prophecy to be fulfilled, man. You know, and that's why we got to say, call Allah Yahweh Hashem Abashai, that we're king into the biblical timeline, man. We know what's going on. The more crazier Jake get, the more bugged out that doctrines get, that's the closer we are at the end. Why? Because they're being blinded more and more, while our light is shining more and more, man. Continuing on, as it is written, the Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should see not, and ears that they should not hear until this day. So the Lord have set this guy up to basically die. Hosea 4 and 6, man, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. The Lord set these people up just so they won't get the truth, just so he can destroy them, man. Verse 8, and David saith, let their table be made a snare before them. Yes, I mean, it's like in this, because this quote Psalm 69, it says, and David saith, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block. This truth. Supposed to come into this thing and get right with the Lord and come into recompense, so you might be saved. But again, niggas want to continue to dwell in the world of Babylon. You know? It says, in a recompense unto them, let their eyes be darkened, that they may see, and bow down their back always. Yes, let these guys continue to be insane. Let these guys continue to be in that madness mindset, you know? Because why? These guys is ultimately just fulfilling biblical prophecy, man. Let's go ahead and end it off right here. Let's go to Isaiah 1, and we're going to jump down. Just going to get to the point. Yep, this is Isaiah 1 and verse 5. It says, why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. Yeah, you can't really correct that nigga that's dancing like that. He gonna bug up against you. The Lord said, don't even worry about it, man. We just gonna have to gather stones with this guy, you know, because it's gonna lead to what? More rebellion. It says the whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint. And we just look up the word insane. It actually goes back into a sickness, insanity as sickness, man. You know? Because you have to be sick in the damn mind to think America is a normal damn place. You know? Continuing on. It says, from the sole of the foot even unto the head. Yes. From the rooter to the tutor, from the top all the way to the bottom. You know, because we can see the head. This guy, he's actually the head of Israel. And the nigga that's dancing with him, the niggas that behind him, that's the soul. So from the soul to the head, you know, from the leaders of Israel, from the supporters of Israel, guess what? There is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and petrifying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mortified with ointment. And ultimately, they haven't been healed. The way you can be healed from all these sicknesses and these diseases is coming unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. But these people refuse. Why? Because they love this world. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land strangers devour it in your presence. Yes, we cast down as a people. Moab over us, man. Esau over us. Ishmael over us. Elam. All these wicked heathens is over us. And the reason why, because we transgress against our Lord. Your land strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. You know? And the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, and as a lodge in a garment of cumbers, as a besieged city. So we set up, we the Lord basically set us up full of dogs. But guess what? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua still left some hope. Right here, except the Lord of hosts had left us a very small remnant. Because again, the rest of the nation of Israel is heading into this direction. You know? Your nephews and sons is cousins gonna watching this nigga, man. And if this the head guy, it's like a nigga that's probably 30 behind him. Imagine how his kids gonna turn out. If he even have kids, man. It's sick out here, man. You know? Continuing on though, it says, if the Lord hadn't left us a very small remnant, we would have been as Sodom and should have been like Gomorrah. So if the Lord haven't left this truth out, man, if Yahweh Shema Shai will never gave that sacrifice, it got to a point you see why John wept. Because if the Lord never gave his sacrifice, man, all our people would end up like this, man. But the water Yahweh Shema Shai, the water Yahweh Shai for their sacrifice, so our people won't end up like this, man. And ultimately, this is not this guy end all be all. Ultimately, the Lord, he will put him down and he will come back in the kingdom of heaven as a real man. So yeah, I pray this video is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachak Wadash. I want to give them honors to my apostle, this great millstone. Shalom.